and welcome to Daytime Talk After Dark. My name is Al Jackson, but that is unimportant. What is important is that I am joined by two of the loveliest human beings I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. The first is somebody I really love to death. Erica Cobb, how are you?
That's a way harsh tie. Wow.
Tory Showman in the building.
Thank you very much.
I
love you too.
Moving in and getting your life together?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, a lot of things happening, switching around, but hopefully you guys will hear good news about a new job from me and I'll be back on live TV, which is like I'm a fish. That's the environment I feel most comfortable in.
All right. I like it. And that goes along with our Night Owls theme. You're a bird. You're not.
Oh, you mean the birds in the sky?
Yeah. Well, you should make it.
You're right. Like an owl in the night, starry night sky. That's where I'm most comfortable.
There we go.
Thank you. Hoot hoot.
Edit.
Edit that
All
out.
right.
Yeah.
And Erica Cobb sitting over there. You look like you are dressed to go anywhere this summer.
Anywhere.
How vague and pretty.
But honestly, it's a very good summer. You could be having lunch with a friend. You could be having post-drinks lunch with a friend.
Post-drinks lunch. Yeah. Those are my favorite types of drinks.
Yeah. Well, no, I never, when I drank, I never liked to eat and drink. Everybody's like, beer and a burger.
I'm with you.
I never liked that. I was like, let's get the boring part of eating out of the way.
No.
And let's get to our dirty business.
No.
I'm with you, Al.
Eating is the ceremony. I like a good pairing. I like my old style with my Chicago pizza. Yes, that's everything. It has to be both.
Erica, we're going to stay on the food theme because I don't know if you guys saw this, but my boy, who I've actually spoken with once before, Joey Chestnut, is back. Obviously,
sounds like a porn name, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
Joey Chestnut, known for consuming hot dogs in, I would say, the most disgusting manner because he dips them in water first.
So gross.
I can't
with
look
the
at,
wet
I
bread.
can't- I can't.
Yeah,
look at, yes.
but the wet bread is so
It's
nasty.
so disgusting. But he's back. He's black. He's beautiful.
He's not black, is he?
Thank you, Tory,
I'm sorry.
for taking my joke and
so
dissecting it
so
and getting
sorry.
right to the meat of unfunny.
I'm so sorry.
I will. He's back. He wants to take his title back of being the hot dog consuming champion. Is Kobayashi still out there? He was the Japanese guy was his number one competitor. But looking at Joey Chestnut coming back, it made me think to myself. I wanted to ask the ladies for $1 million, what food would you pick to be in a food consuming contest? What food do you think you could eat the most of in 10 minutes?
Can I ask one question?
Yes.
Can it not be soup?
It cannot be soup
Okay.
because no one's ever done that. Who would ever pick
I was gonna say
soup?
that's a
What do
lot
you
of
have, the
sodium.
flu?
It's a lot of
split
sodium.
peas. I can eat a lot
That
of
is
split pea
disgusting.
soup. Okay. Because I thought you can get it down quicker too, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I just think the back end of that would be real ugly.
Yeah, hot dogs are not an issue.
Yeah. So, Erica, what food do you think you could eat the most of?
I'm going to go with Bib lettuce.
Lettuce.
I don't
Bib
like lettuce.
lettuce.
Bib lettuce.
Yeah, because
they a
I feel
sponsor?
like Bib doesn't. No, it's not a brand.
It's a type of lettuce.
What is Bib
It's
lettuce?
not Mr. Bib.
the famous knockoff Dr. Pepper. Yeah.
His brother.
Yes.
I chose Bib because Bib tends to be a little less watery than like a lettuce, like a head of lettuce from like a wedge
lettuce.
salad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of water in that. And I would need something that is easy to get down, but also didn't have a lot of, water.
Okay. Tori, what about you?
When my mother,
Do you have a very specific type of lettuce you'd like to reference?
I'm all arugula. No, when my mom was like super, super sick and she wouldn't eat anything and she'd only eat red slushies from 7-Eleven and they were like, we think she's internally bleeding, but she was just eating too many slushies. I finally said, let's introduce it back with tofu. So what we did was we cut up tofu and I put balsamic vinegar on it so she could have a taste. But if I can eat plain tofu and it's not a lot of flavor and I can just like eat it really quick.
That's good.
I think.
Yeah, tofu.
Not that I would like
That's
it.
actually pretty. That's a pretty good
And
one.
it's soft and sort of pliable.
Yeah, you can get the silkier one.
You can get the silkier one. I think I could squish it in my hands.
Okay.
What about you, Al?
That's disgusting, but that's a good choice.
I think it was. I was strategic in my thinking.
This might seem silly. I think I could eat more Reese's Cups than anybody on the planet.
I don't disagree.
I think
Swedish Fish, though, Al, no?
they'll get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah.
I think Reese's Cups, you take one, they fit in your mouth, take it, bite it, swallow it.
Peanut butter gets sticky, dude. That's a hard thing to get down.
Yeah, I would be scared you would choke because it
Yeah.
would probably all start to like
Build up.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are making me reassess.
Yeah. What if I was called Tory Tofu Tory? Okay.
I could look either that, or I think I could do a lot of mini sweet potato pies. I know.
Again, you're not thinking of what happens when all of that is in your mouth.
The congealed.
And now all of a sudden you have a ball of, basically you have a full yam in your mouth.
You said that before.
That sounds like a 1950s sex talk. Listen,
you gotta.
He's gonna want to put a lot of produce in your mouth.
She's got a yam in her mouth. What are you gonna do,
You're gonna be, yes. So
that's interesting, and I wonder how
I
they
think
came
I
up
could
with
throw down some Reese's Cups or jelly beans.
Your
jelly beans. You're back to the same problem that you had with Swedish Fish.
What's your least favorite jelly bean flavor?
Coffee.
Mine is by far the buttered popcorn.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely disgusting, unnecessary, and
now, is that jelly bean or jelly belly?
I think it's jelly belly.
Yeah,
you're right. I
that's a
apologize.
Jelly Belly.
Jelly Belly did the dumbest thing
Why
that
is
I
there
think
buttered
any company has
popcorn?
ever done. It's take something that is supposed to be eaten by the handful.
Oh,
Anybody that eats one jelly bean
you're
at a time, you're like,
right.
oh, you're a serial killer and this is my last day on the planet. Because no one is ever going to eat one jelly bean.
That's a great point.
So you take something where you're supposed to grab a handful
That's a
and you like
great
everything.
point.
Oh, it's a lime one, a cherry one,
Sure,
awesome,
sure.
orange. I'm here for it. Blueberry, let's go. Coffee. What? Am I a trucker? What do I need a coffee?
you get a cigarette one. What is this?
Why did you put that in there? So now I would find myself going through the Jelly Bellies, picking out the weird, and I think it's what Trump's immigration policy, picking out the brown and black ones.
Oh
Because
my
I'm like,
God.
I don't want those.
We gotta clip this.
Oh, why is Stephen Miller's face on this back?
That's hysterical.
But it's like it's so weird that they
That's
did
a
that
good
because
point.
I've never met anybody who's like, you know what, I could just do. Now I can do
Licorice.
the coffee beans that are like covered in chocolate that you get at like a
yeah.
fancy coffee shop. There'll be like 3 or 4 of those. I like those by themselves.
Now that's a palate cleanser. So if you've had too much perfume in your face ever, you want to go ahead and sniff coffee beans. It'll take that headache away and it'll clear your nose. That's
yeah,
actually
but you're
real.
talking about the ones that are covered in chocolate.
Oh
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's not it. That's not
like-
it. That's like a raisinette. So
Raisinets stink.
I love raisinets. I will
Raisinets
throw
are the
down, and I
worst.
really think that's rude. It's an old school snack that's really healthy and also somewhat
Really
fun.
healthy.
The raisin.
Yeah, but you got to get through a foot of chocolate to get
Yeah.
to it.
I'm not gonna lie. I definitely could throw down
I
on
can
some raisinets.
Totally.
Really?
And I can shake it.
What's
in
your
my mouth.
favorite
Yeah.
old school candy? I used to be a big Milk Dud guy.
Oh, that's the worst.
But
one.
Milk Dud's like you could just feel your teeth coming
Die.
out.
Yeah.
It's not great.
I'm
Almond
gonna
Joy
have
is also
to.
bad.
Yeah, I never got down with Almond Joy.
Disgusting.
My thing, if I really want a candy bar, which is like very few and far between, Butterfinger.
Oh.
I
Thank
love-
you.
No,
You
I'm
are
a Snickers
Bart
all the way.
Simpson.
Yeah.
I am.
I'm Snickers.
Nobody better put a finger on my Butterfinger, man.
Erica's first
Whoa!
impersonation.
I've never seen her do that.
That was the Black Bart Simpson. Yes.
I've never seen you do that.
Do you remember the Black Bart Simpson
No.
trend in the mid 90s when the Simpsons were at their height? There were obviously a lot of Simpsons t-shirts, and there was a line of very popular black Simpsons. They were just. Do you remember this, Erica?
No.
No. Does anybody?
Did you have
my-
this as a dream?
No.
Okay.
I had these t-shirts.
The Black Simpsons.
You don't remember Black? Okay. We
No,
yes.
I was wearing
Nick,
cross
do you remember
colors.
Black Bart? Oh my gosh! In Cleveland, they were huge. They were at all the mall kiosks,
Oh, there was somebody local doing
that. Yeah.
but they were like
I don't think that was
countrywide.
like
Do
widespread.
you see them?
Yeah, that's totally
Kiosk merch. Yeah,
It's
that was Tyrone who came up with his own fan fiction in Cleveland.
It really was.
And that's how you got Black Bart.
That was early Black fan fiction. I will say this randomly because I do miss the days when human beings didn't pretend like we knew everything, because now we have Google. So people are like, actually, like, this is back when like people didn't know how to spell things. I've told the story about how I had a friend of mine whose mom would rent Blockbuster VHS and then dub them and then sell them, but people didn't know how to spell. So like they would set it off with Jane Puckett because but I remember I was at basketball practice and a friend of mine had bought a mall kiosk t-shirt. It was the NBA All-Star game and they had the West and the East All-Stars on the back, but people didn't know how to spell. So there were players' names that were grotesquely misspelled because no one knew how to do anything.
Oh, because you can't even look it up.
Right, you couldn't really look anything up back in 1995.
Maybe it wasn't that they didn't know how to spell. Maybe they were trying to avoid
copyright.
Yes.
No one knew this kind of stuff in 1995.
Just throwing it
Did
out
you guys
there.
not
There
go
was
home?
a player named Dan Marley, and that whoever made that T-shirt was like,
Just guessing. Did you guys not go home to your Encyclopedia Britannica and look it up in your macro and micro versions?
do you still have a Britannica?
Yeah, we have a full set of the macro and a full set of the micro.
When's the last time you were I would think if I touched that, the wall would spin around because I'm like, there's no way that these are real books.
We just looked it up with my godfather, Ibn Battuta, the 13th century traveler.
Okay. Hey, Al, you were right about the black Bart Simpson T-shirt. They actually sell one now at Walmart for $29.94, and they say vintage cartoon shirt. And it is.
They don't say this is Black Simpson.
They don't need
Black
to.
Bart
It's
Simpson
clearly
t-shirt.
they're black.
Yeah.
I don't see color.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes. It was
Okay.
Black Bart. Yeah.
Huh.
It was a big.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It was a
With
big
the
movement.
with the high fade.
Yeah.
With the high fade.
So, yes, a little throwback. I've always said if we wanted to stop all the internet rhetoric and all the people that thought that they knew about COVID and all the people that know about tariffs, take the spell check off. Because that would take it. Because if people had to look things up, how to spell things and how to like, air quotes, dish you with like their information. If people had to look it up, that'd be the end of all that, Jack. Because people could have always looked up all this information, but people are like, I'm not looking. I will click and copy and paste, but ain't nobody looking. So that's the way to end up. I can just fix the internet if y'all want. Anyway, all right, Eric. Well, let's stay on the conversation of food because I love it. I guess there's now this growing trend of people, Kabi, that say that adults ordering from the kids menu is tacky. Do you agree? Do you disagree?
This is so, oh gosh. I hope that after we get through whatever is happening in this country and in this planet right now, I hope that there are better days ahead. And I hope that we are so abundantly grateful for how simple things were that we try to get back to how simple things
Eric,
could
I think
be.
about it every day.
Yes. And I hope things like this go out the window because at the end of the day, if you are ordering from people, just have this natural assumption that you're ordering from the kids menu because you're trying to be cheap. Some people are ordering from the kids menu because one, they're more of a small meals type person, especially right now when everybody is on GLP-1. Like it makes no sense if you're in a situation where you're not going directly home, so you're not able to bring the food with you, to order these massive meals that a lot of restaurants serve you when there's a version on the kids menu that you can just order. So if it comes down to, and I'm a person who, I order a lot and I over order because I have this thing in my head that's like, oh, I want to make my occupancy at this table worth my server's time. And if that's the case, then, maybe get a little crafty or tip your server a little bit more. But I don't think that necessarily has to be a hard line in the sand that it's tacky. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, so it's better for you to order something that you're not going to consume and potentially throw away than to order something that you're actually going to eat and enjoy.
Tory, thoughts?
I really appreciate what she said because lately I've been having some like nerves and I've not been eating a lot. And having a kids menu option would be like very, very helpful. Like, give me 4 chicken fingers. Like, I just need some protein, not overwhelming. It's a little bit cheaper. But I do want to say this. I do feel bad ordering it. So this is what I would do. I'm not joking. If I ordered it, I'd be like, oh, Benny's in the bathroom, but he'll have 4 chicken tenders.
And then Benny never comes out.
Never checked on your son, Benny.
Benny's having some issues, but like that's how far I would go to order off the kids. I would fictionalize a child.
We call this a CPS order.
See,
that's how far, because I do feel like they judge you and they're like, there's like, it's not allowed.
This is what you do. You sit down and you say, I will have a dirty Tito's martini with blue cheese olives.
You know, I love that.
And then they come back and you're like, and I will also have the mac and cheese with fries.
God, that sounds so good. That sounds like girl dinner. God, that sounds delicious.
I will just say this.
I didn't mean that because it's small. Women should eat whatever they want.
I'm only coming at this from the waiter's perspective. And if I see 2 girlfriends catching up and I'm like, oh, it's so cute. And you guys are like, oh, we're going to be ordering from the kids menu. I'm just thinking about my tip. And I'm like, cool. I would be so mad. But then when you said the martinis, I'm like,
yeah. That's why you start out with
the heavy stuff.
You start off with the martinis. You set the tone. We're going to spend some money at this table.
I'm going to get tipsy.
Yeah. So, but this is all, because I mean, at that point, it might as well be like drinks and apps.
Yeah.
Which can lead to the way that I order appetizers, paying more for the appetizers than you would have if you would have just gotten 2 meals.
Do you think
this leads me to why tapas is hard to get?
But maybe because we're starting to see our beloved chain restaurants like, start to go under. Hooters filed for bankruptcy. I know that Chili's and Applebee's, especially Applebee's, has struggled and closed in certain locations.
Do
you think it's because they have not adapted their menus to the way I'm hearing both of you guys speak? And you guys are both like, I don't need a cheesecake trough-sized pasta dish.
Yeah, but no.
But maybe like making it tapas, but not saying it.
I'm so sorry, and I'm not trying to offend anyone. I can see why Applebee's would go out of business. They were never really known for their food. They were known for their community.
Wow.
I mean, honestly, no one's like the top 5 restaurants in America, Applebee's, according to taste. Now, Applebee's has always scored remarkably high on their Q rating, so to speak, like the fondness, because Applebee's was considered a third space, like you have home, you have work, and then people would go
good in the neighborhood.
Love it.
Right.
Is that Chili's or is that Applebee's?
That's Applebee's.
Eating good in the neighborhood.
And you have your fundraisers at Applebee's. You take the kids' baseball teams.
The office goes out there.
Yeah, it's a reasonably priced place for community eating, basically.
But the food's not great.
No.
It's terrible.
No one's going to Applebee's because the food is so great.
It's a good point.
I mean, you're eating good in the neighborhood, but you're eating enough. Not you're eating, culinary delights in the neighborhood.
I will say this. Chili's, I always like the way the food tastes.
I like Chili's the best.
Chili's
is by far the best.
Chili's definitely has the coldest beers, always, does not matter
Frosted glass.
what location. I mean, they're so cold, I have to wait for them to warm up a little bit
Erica
because
loves
I get brain
the beers at Chili's.
Yes,
Chili's
it's super
dope.
cold beers. And then their happy hour, like that was a great thing. Also, their chips, I don't know why their chips and salsa should be that good. Their queso, like outside of, like an actual Mexican restaurant, Chili's is showing up with some decent, like their tortillas or their chips. They're very good.
Can I say this? Because and I don't know if this is specific to Denver, and obviously I haven't been in a bar in 6 years, but I feel like happy hours have disappeared.
No, there's happy hours.
They call them happy hours, but there used to be stupid happy hours where it was like either everything was half off or, draft beers are like $1.50.
Yeah, BOGOs.
Like now it's like, yeah, there's a happy hour. Maybe they may knock $1 off, but the drink is $15. I always thought happy hour was like we're coming here at 3:00 because we're gonna get loaded.
Chili's doesn't have a happy hour
they do.
anymore?
It varies by state. I've said this a million times. The Chili's in Florida, in South Florida, was 2 for $1 all day, every day, which I'm sure is illegal now because we were getting wide open in there. Like Chili's was like, we would go to Chili's before we went to the club.
Oh wow, yeah, of course.
Yes.
Let me ask you something. Does Chili's serve chili?
Yeah, I'm sure, but it's not like
I
really.
don't know.
Okay. But it's not known for it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I only went during happy hour.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Okay.
All right. Well, this is more just.
No, it does not serve chili
Then
They don't
anymore.
Weird.
Wow. Yeah, I think chili.
You know what I would do?
I
An
don't
ad
think
campaign?
it's a big money maker, and I think it's hard to keep because you have to keep a big vat of it. You're not making it per customer.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a bitch to have.
What do you think about this?
Wendy's has chili all the time.
Yeah, but that's just man.
What if this is the ad campaign?
I'll
Man,
leave
I'm
that.
hungry.
I used to work at Wendy's.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Did you make the chili?
I did.
Is it bad? Is it
Let's
gross?
just say the chili's already made from things that didn't get sold.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Let's move on.
Well, that's
What do I know?
Yeah.
What do I know?
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to something that I am very interested in.
I'm chilly.
Are you?
I was thinking of the ad campaign. Oh, I'm so chilly. Let's go in. Chili's. Okay, go ahead. Sorry. I thought that was a clever idea.
don't
But
have a
that
future
you're saying
marketing.
come loiter in our space. You're not saying come eat. You're saying
Right, because
you're
there's no
cold,
chili
come
there.
in
That's why I
here.
asked. Okay, sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Okay. So I want to ask you guys this. We're seeing a lot of anti-tourism protests in Europe, but do you think not only is there an anti-tourism situation that people are dealing with worldwide? I know that because of Trump's policies, we're seeing a big dip in tourism here in the United States, but even domestically, I was just looking at this story and they were saying that Las Vegas, they used to be like the everyman's kind of vacation where you can be like, hey, we take the kids, me and the wife, get tanked up for a couple of nights. Come on. Now Vegas is really pricing out a lot of
Vegas. Oh, yes.
It's like silly money in
Vegas
Vegas.
used to be the cheap because it used to almost be free to fly there because they wanted you to fly there to
spend
gamble.
money. But no, I
Yeah, Vegas
Lord,
is
I mean,
silly.
granted, it's the choices that you make when you travel at any point. But I will say, as someone who has been going to Vegas my entire adult life,
Yes.
like the idea that my husband and I both have great paying jobs and I have to think about how and when I'm spending money in Vegas
That's
has
insane.
become super problematic. I mean, seriously,
that.
because I honestly didn't think about it before. Now I think about it and it sounds crazy because I could probably more afford it now, but the prices are so high for hotels. So I generally go to Vegas at the end of the year for the same conference. So I got ahead of it because I'm like, hey, if I wait, then that hotel room is going to cost me $1,000 a night.
Jeez
$1,000
Louise. That's like Rome.
a night.
It's
So
like
I got
Milan,
ahead
you
of
know?
it. This conference is in November. I got ahead of it. And
You're talking about the AVNs.
yeah.
Is it like $800 still? How is it?
Five something a night. And that's like, I mean, it's a nice hotel, but I'm not staying at Versailles.
Yeah.
like seriously.
I don't have trumpets waking me up in the morning.
yeah,
that's crazy.
I wonder if this will actually have an effect because looking back to my youth when I say I mean my mid 20s, early 20s on through to my 30s, I had no money, but we traveled all the time because you could just get somewhere and figure it out. You could get to Vegas and stay downtown back when it was scary and like find a hotel for like $54 and like there would be tables with $1 minimums on the
Yep.
outside and a regular person could
Penny
just go
slots.
and have fun.
Yeah, I had penny
And
slots. I
now
love the penny slots.
you just get the feeling like if you don't have money, you're not welcome here. And I just wonder what's the next vacation spot for any American. It's like, I can go on a vacation. It's going to be a budget vacation, but so what? That used to be, they would assume, I think back in the day, that everybody here is on a budget. But now I think that, Erica, they're going with the same mentality that nightclubs go with, where they're like, we're making our money off of 3 Arab princes that are in the VIP. Everybody else is just like, if y'all left, we wouldn't even notice. And I wonder if Vegas is that situation where the baller money people are really floating it, so they don't even care if it's affordable to regular people because they're not making enough money.
I think people care because, I mean, just Vegas in general, everything feeds into each other. So something somewhere has to suffer, right? Like those same princes spending all that money in the nightclub aren't necessarily the same people who are going to the Chili's on the Strip. You know,
Can
like
you imagine the Sultan of Brunei being like, let's go to Chili's?
Do I own this? Yeah. I want to own this.
So seriously, I mean, so that's it. It does set up for failure. I think I understand what you mean with nightclubs and stuff, but that's such a specific thing. You know, nightclubs generally aren't open every single night, and there's like, you know, there's a premium on those spaces. You price it accordingly, and you can still make your nut.
Your nut. So many nightclubs. I feel like I need to be part of the DBL crew. I didn't really go to nightclubs.
Yeah, it's a little too late, Tor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no,
I can't go to a
Maybe
club.
Branson, Missouri.
I can't go to a club?
No, you can go to a club, but in order to go to a club that the experience that we're talking about,
It was like you were in your 20s.
You have to be in a New York, an LA.
I never did LA
maybe
clubs.
in Atlanta,
Yeah.
and like you have to be on a list. Like now you're getting that type of treatment. But the clubs that like in Chicago, like we would have lines down the street.
See, that's why I didn't go, because I was like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
Are there Denver clubs?
But also you missed it.
Yeah.
Hell no,
There's no Denver clubs. Okay.
I mean, there are, but it's like you're not gonna. Please do not let me hear that you went to a nightclub in Denver, girl.
See her in a Westward magazine.
I'll take you to a nightclub, Tory.
If I hear
big circle, this is the
that
one.
you went to a Denver nightclub,
What's wrong with that?
girl?
You would hate it now. You
No.
would walk in, you'd be like, it's loud in here. It's
Absolutely
loud.
not.
I'm not 100.
No.
I'd be like, okay.
Yeah,
I feel
but
like
you're
this-
also not 18 pretending to be 21.
fair. Okay, you're right.
No.
I would worry the women aren't wearing enough clothes.
Oh, there
No.
we go. Yeah. They pull you out of line just for thinking that.
Absolutely not. All
Honey,
I
are you
see when I
cold?
see a nightclub in a situation like that are 17 and 18-year-olds who have gotten into this club. Now there's a fight. Now there's glass. Now there's some kind of exit situation.
She's always thinking of the exit.
I am
all.
yes, I'm looking for an exit.
I did hurt myself at that one.
Did you
club
ever
we
go
went
to any, where were you hanging out at the bar from Roadhouse? There were some good fun clubs.
I came of age in nightclubs. Of course, like I worked in the hottest nightclubs. I was living at 21 years old across the street from what is now Trump Towers, like that in Chicago, which means it was the prime real estate. I was 21. Just 11 years prior than that, I was living on the west side of Chicago. That's how much my come up was, okay? Paying my own rent and living a life of luxury. I understand nightclubs, okay? I know that I read apparently like I'm 14, but I understand.
That would be so great if I got carded.
I understand. No, I'm saying now. So people like, I don't know why people explain things to me like
I wanna
nightlife and stuff. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I
I
know
was
you
a
were in
part
those streets.
of the night.
What I'm saying is, can I go somewhere where I can dance?
I'll
I'll figure
think,
this out. Okay,
Yeah.
I can go to maybe a gay club would be fun, like Charlie's.
well,
yes, that's
I used to go
totally
to Charlie's
fine.
and party.
Totally
hard.
fine.
Okay.
Do that.
Jen
but-
Wiederstrom and I would go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Do
Yeah.
that, but
Okay.
do not. No,
Okay,
do not
a gay
try to
bar.
get
That'll
your
be fun.
life.
Gay club.
I would cry for you.
Okay, I
this,
appreciate that.
This leads us really quickly into our unpopular opinion. So we kind of talked about this, but I do want to ask just because it segues perfectly into unpopular opinions. But our first unpopular opinion is traveling isn't always life-changing. Sometimes it's just expensive and exhausting. Tori, do you agree?
Yes. I traveled for a year abroad, and some places, like we went to Lyon, France, and it was like industrial, and you have to be very strategic. Traveling can be really, really rough. But the best part about traveling, if you find yourself in a bad place, someone will be there and you'll meet people and there'll be an experience. But I think sometimes staying at home can be a lot more fulfilling for me.
I agree. That's also why that answers why you shouldn't go to a club.
Yeah, I was was picking up on that.
Because
you could be in a bad place and someone will come and or help themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I guess I even
Eric, what do you think?
I totally understand that. I am traveling this weekend and I'm practicing napping before I go because I just traveled last week and it does I feel a little bit like I'm living out of suitcases.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that there is a lot to be said about the comfort of home. There's a lot that goes into traveling. When I came back from Houston last week, I was supposed to be back in time. We have Accidentally Informed on Wednesdays. So I had enough time to get back home, shower, do my hair and makeup, and then be on the live at 4:00 Mountain. I was still in an Uber coming back from DIA at 4:00 because there were torrential rains.
Yes.
The airport closed down in Houston.
It's not nice.
And it delayed me for 3 hours.
I gotta say, airline travel, the fact that we came up with airlines and flying is beautiful, and the way we have trashed the way we get there is so sad.
It really,
it's so
not
sad.
fun anymore.
No, it's a miserable experience.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
Speaking of
But travel,
unpopular
everyone.
opinions and miserable experiences, some people say that chicken wings, are overhyped.
I do agree with this. I don't think there's enough meat for what you have to go through.
That's a very fair assessment. Erica, what do you think?
I think y'all gonna lay off my chicken wings.
Okay.
Yeah, I will fight you over some chicken wings.
I'm here for it.
I love chicken wings. You mentioned that Hooters was closing.
Great
As
wings.
a former
Great
Hooters
wings.
girly, I'm telling you now, those Daytona naked, all drummies, fire.
Look, we have tried a number of different foods in which people can commune over. Nothing has ever passed wings. Because I think the process.
Nachos. I'm just going to say it.
Nachos suck after you get
Nachos are
the
amazing.
second layer are horrible.
They are a layer
There's
of
nothing on
heaven.
them.
Yes, there is. There's cheese. There's
We
adventures.
already had this
you're
conversation,
right.
and it's because Al doesn't know how to properly make
Make the
nachos. Let's
nachos.
not reinvent
I'm just
this
saying
conversation.
I've never had a good plate of nachos.
I think chicken wings are messy. Your face looks bad. Your fingers look bad. And then I don't know where to put the actual bones,
There's
which is
a bowl
awkward.
for that.
Now, here's the thing, too. I
It's
do
real
eat
messy.
chicken wings most time with a fork and knife.
Oh, Erica, you just lost so much cred with
I
me.
do.
Wow.
The reason why is because I have long nails and I don't want
It's
particles getting in my nail
It's
beds.
very sticky.
I do not want that.
That's very
So that's
difficult.
why I do it.
Why
And
don't you-
I have it down.
Why don't you take gloves?
I'm not eating with gloves.
Do you have wing gloves? Do you have wing gloves?
I'm about to be on Shark Tank.
Like, you think it's
Excuse
less
me, judges.
weird.
I'm going to bring
me,
a
too.
guest out, Erica.
to eat with gloves.
bowl of hot wings. In.
And also, that completely defies the entire purpose of why I eat them with a knife and a fork, because gloves, guess what? My nails just pop right through that. So back to work.
Okay, I would like to ask Nick and Michael Dean, if you're on a first date and you get wings and you're like, oh, this person's cool, we're having wings, and they pull out a knife and fork. Nick, yell out your answer. Is that a red flag for you, honestly? No.
Knife and fork is not a red flag.
Michael
tactful
Dean is
answer.
Ooh, that's good. Well, if another guy came and whipped out a knife and fork, I would probably be like, "This is weird.
you okay?
I totally
This
agree.
is weird."
I totally agree.
That's
Yeah.
What if they pulled out gloves? Would that be weirder?
I mean, like, I might even tuck the napkin.
I'm
up
gonna
here
tuck.
'cause
I'm gonna
a
tuck.
Slob,
We're all
but,
gonna
like,
tuck.
I don't know. Gloves is weird.
Gloves
Like, why
is
are
weird.
you carrying gloves?
Yeah,
that's like
that's
serial
strange.
killer vibes, right?
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that is OJ. I have gloves
He just
always
puts
with
the
me.
gloves on. This isn't my only pair.
Yeah.
Right. I'd be like, "Wait, what are we doing later?"
Yeah, it is. That's the last thing I have left, because in college I was bullied out of eating French fries with a fork.
Oh, French fries with a fork is good though.
I
I'm right
think
there
it's-
with you.
yeah.
I don't agree.
And then
with
I
that.
married a Canadian who,
Yeah,
you know,
poutine is-
they eat
yeah.
French fries with a fork with poutine.
Yeah,
so
poutine is very
That's
good.
how you know you found your man.
I know.
You could say they are poutine on the Ritz. It's a
What
poutine.
about pizza with a fork? and knife.
I do eat pizza with a fork.
No,
Yeah.
God, you gotta fold it.
No, because sometimes, especially when it's hot, like I'll eat it with a fork. It helps cool it down.
What about Snickers bar? I know this was on a Seinfeld, but that guy ate the Snickers bar because he didn't want to get chocolate on his fingers. He ate it with a fork and knife.
Leave it in the wrapper and pull a little bit out and eat that
Can
little bit.
I say something? It's very veiny.
The
Snickers.
Okay.
all right.
Alrighty.
And on that
note.
Okay.
Tori's like, I don't mind it.
No, I do. Enough.
The veinier.
That's
I was just wondering if that was just me.
Yes. All right. How come Snickers never came out with a white chocolate version?
Because they're classic company. It's the best.
What are your thoughts on white? I heard white chocolate is considered like low class. I love white chocolate.
I used to love symphony bars.
Oh yeah, the symphony bars. Oh, you
White
brought
chocolate's
that back.
disgusting.
You don't like it at all?
No, I really don't. I think it's just gross. I buy white chocolate.
No, I mean, I could see. I've heard that. I know it's not a great look but yes, I do like me some white chocolate. And my dad used to get us the Zero bars. Zero were white chocolate, like basically white chocolate Snickers, and they were in all silver. Thing.
Oh, I
do you remember Zero
seeing
with
that,
the blue and
but
white
I don't
rating?
remember. I don't think I ever saw one in person.
Wow, I need to go on Temu and get some. All right, guys. With that said, another week in the books. If you are in Chicago this week, come check me at the Comedy Bar in downtown Chicago. Erica, where can people find you?
Well, they can find me on my social media at Erica Cobb, or you can check out Accidentally Informed every Wednesday night, YouTube Live, 5 p.m. Central.
All right, Tory, where can people find you?
People can find me at I am Tory Schulman and follow me, please.
That sounds like it's going to be the name of your documentary with you standing up and being like, I am Tory Schulman. And then other white blonde women stand up and say, I am Tory Schulman. I am Tory Schulman.
Why do you do this? Why?
I'm reinforcing your name. You guys,
Follow along.
Night Owls, we love y'all.
Hoot hoot.